Yo, what's up guys? It's Parnellyx. It's 2:30 a.m. and I have a full day of work tomorrow at 10. So if you guys ever doubted that I was putting my body, my soul, my mind on the line for this channel, just know. Just know. But we're playing Warwick Jungle once again. But this time we're actually going with the lethal tempo BORK setup. I had a lot of people ask me in recent videos why I'm always going Ravenous Hydra, why am I not going BORK in the jungle? Honestly, good question. I think the reason is not because BORK is necessarily inferior to Ravenous Shard or anything. It's just, it kind of depends on team comp. So, and honestly, like a lot of the team comps I've been playing versus have been like squishier champions. So I just end up going Ravenous more. Although I will say that BORK is certainly viable and potentially optimal against some of the team comps that I've been playing versus. But I think I definitely just have a bias towards Ravenous Hydra. It just feels a little bit better for me. And that's also likely why I'm hard stuck. Because I'm bad and dumb. But we're playing we're playing Warwick Jungle. Starting topside this game. This game actually ends up going pretty like I think this game is definitely just kind of a comeback. It's not like an insane comeback. This wasn't the I'm not going to sell it as such, but it's definitely a comeback. And it's very similar to the last video I posted. It's really just kind of about patience. And when your teammates start to fall behind and every lane is losing, you can't really try too hard to recover until you have your items. Like you just gotta, at the end of the day, just play smart. That's what League of Legends is all about. It's about playing smart, making the best decision in every given moment. And it's like playing poker. You always gotta play the odds. You might have a kind of a trash hand, but like, you know, if you're given a 2-7 offsuit in Hold'em, you can't just, you know, just because you're down some chips doesn't mean you push all in. You're just gonna have to fold and wait your turn. Now, I'm horrible at poker, so me giving this analogy is not correct. In fact, maybe you should even doubt my advice there for that reason alone. But I think it sounds pretty, you know, pretty fitting for what I'm trying to push here. You get the idea. You get the gist of it. So, yeah, I mean, I think this is just one where my teammates really fall behind. Also, if you haven't noticed, this is going to be a full, like a straight commentary. There's no editing in this video. Let me know what you guys think of this as well. I'm sure, I know I have some people that like the full gameplay videos. It's definitely easier in my time. I'm trying to improve my video quality. So if you guys have any thoughts on like the editing style, if you like just full gameplay, if you'd like a mix, let me know. So that's I can keep this in mind for the future. We're always just testing things out here. Come up here and nab this scuttle crab from the Wukong. He's not a happy camper, and I'm actually a lot stronger than this man, so I'm willing to just kind of sit here and whack him. But I do gotta keep in mind that his teammates are coming back from base, so I'm not gonna overchase. I'm gonna take the flash. I had to pop Ghost there, but obviously Ghost is a lower cooldown than Flash, so we're gonna take the trade. And since Diana's trying to push out this wave of I'm like, what are you doing? Like seriously, like what are you doing? And she's like really adamant on this as well. I can't remember, does she even like die here? I haven't watched it. This game was like last week, so I can't exactly remember everything that went down this game. Normally when I'm editing videos, I can, like, you know, I'm seeing the game over again, but because I'm not doing editing here, we're just kind of just checking things out. Yeah, Diana is like really adamant on pushing this out. I'm not sure if she just has an item that she's waiting for, but she ends up burning Flash to try to get lane shoved in. And I'm able to hold a freeze here for Ziggs. I will say though, Ziggs is not a champion that's like gonna hold a freeze. Like some champions just push the lane out, and that's all they can do. Like if you tried to like freeze Angelia, you're essentially just not playing the game. So yeah, I mean, you can like freeze, I guess, for like a little bit, like until they get back to the lane, so that you can get a CS lead. But at the end of the day, someone like Ziggs doesn't really care about a freeze. I'm just kind of doing it to be annoying and just to give him the option as well. End up taking the Raptors here because I do have the mid prio, but Yeah, well, the mid power doesn't last. I actually thought that Ziggs was going to rotate over here sooner. I have no idea what's... yeah, it does end up getting a kill, so it all kind of works out okay, I suppose. But I definitely... He says that's the best he could do. I don't think so. I think he definitely could have came sooner. I probably should have pinged more, though. Huge problem that I have in solo queue. One of the reasons why I'm hard stuck. I don't ping any of my thoughts. I just do things. And this is why when I actually play in higher elo, I actually tend to do a lot better than I do in like lower elo. Just by lower elo, I mean I guess like Diamond 1 Master, lower than my normal elo. Well, I guess this is my normal elo now. I'm a hard stuck player. Deal with it. But like when I'm playing like Challenger and in Grandmaster, I think I actually kind of, at least to me, it feels like I tend to do better because of the fact that my teammates kind of have a better understanding of the game, and one of my problems and flaws in solo queue is my lack of ability to communicate. Communication is absolutely crucial. Definitely ping your thoughts, and like that's a big habit I'm going to be building over the course of this next season. So if you see me not pinging things, just know that that's not something to follow. You should be pinging your thoughts. Like if I'm going for this gank here, I should have been like pinging ahead of time. Now, of course, the one awkward part about, you know, pinging like for ganks is, you know, if you're pinging go in or I'm on my way, a lot of people kind of take that as a sign of go in right now, and they just run in an int, and then they blame you for for somehow mind controlling them. So the idea is you're going to expect them obviously to use common sense, but people aren't going to use common sense in solo queue. So I'm not exactly sure what the solution is there. I actually try to like ping along the path. Like instead of pinging on directly on top of the laner, I will be, if I'm moving from bot to top, I'll ping like the bush or whatever to kind of show that I'm going in that direction. But again, I'm not an expert on pings because I tend to not ping too much. So this is just something I'm figuring out. But yeah, as for like how this game's been going so far, obviously we're just another pretty slow start. Definitely tried to make good use of that mid prior that we had earlier. Got punished. But like I said, I actually think that my going for that 2v2 was actually the right play because I'm very strong. Warwick is very, very strong versus Wukong and Diana if I have lethal tempo, because they have no CC and they have no... I mean, their damage just really isn't good enough in the early game, so they're not going to like shred you too hard, which will give you time to ramp up. And that's kind of why Warwick is pretty good against those champions, but it's whatever. So instead of going for Krugs right here, we saw that Fiora was obviously overextended. And we're going to just take our kill opportunities when we can. We're going to try to farm whenever possible, when there's nothing going on. Or I shouldn't say whenever possible. We're going to farm when there's nothing going on, but whenever possible, we're looking for... we're looking for kills. This was one of the most... This is incredibly tilting. I'm very, very happy and satisfied that I managed to get out of this cheesy invade that they tried to do on me. I actually cannot believe Diana actually walked all the way up top like that. I don't know where, like how they saw me. I'm not sure if they just had a ward or they just expected me to be there after the top lane gank. But regardless, we popped Ghost and managed to walk away. That's one of the reasons, by the way, why I really like Ghost and Warwick. Is it's just very versatile. It gives you better escape ability a lot of the times because of the fact that you're going to cover more grounds with Ghost over time. Flash of course allows you to go over walls, but a lot of people can go over walls. So yeah, a lot of times it's just not going to kind of work out. And if you're chasing someone who's going over walls, you can always cue them to follow their flashes or blinks. So it's not like you're going to have that issue like in mid-late game fights. We go mid here to cover the lane. I'm trying to test this Diana a little bit because, like I said, I'm really, really strong versus her. I can fight her. It's a bit stupid. Sorry, check that. It's really stupid. And this right here, oh wow, it's really stupid. I told you it was really stupid. Like in that situation, there's like what can I really gain in that scenario? Like really think about it. The best, like, because Diana's not going to fight until she dies. She's not going to 1v1 me and Like if she starts 1v1ing me, she's going to walk away. So I guess best scenario, I managed to I'll be able to chunk her, and kind of poke her down in lane. But it's just very, very unlikely that anything of value is going to come out there, and the odds of me dying were extremely high, especially considering Ziggs was a little bit far away coming from base. So don't do what I just did. That was an example of how you I think that was actually a pretty good example of what I'm saying, or what I said in the beginning, which is don't overforce things when you are behind. Just kind of play smart, try to reach your power spikes and play around those power spikes, play around the situations that are given to you. I tried to force a play there when I just couldn't, and it just wasn't like, if I'm relying on my enemy opponent to be stupid, be like really stupid, like DC in the middle of the fight, then it's probably not going to be a good play. And even if it does work every once in a while, you got to think, like, if you're playing a lot, you know, if you're grinding over the course of the season and you're always going for those plays, that's like a 10% chance something like that works out. So, you know, given the odds, you're just going to end up losing elo if you're consistently doing stuff like that. So avoid being stupid is my lesson of the day. It's an important lesson. It's an important lesson. I think not enough people really get that lesson these days. So we got a BORK though. We got plated steel caps. So we're at an absolutely massive power spike. I mentioned this before. BORK, once you get the full BORK item past the components, it's pretty ridiculous. In combination with lethal tempo and Warwick, there's a reason why I tend to go just both. Like I rarely go like press the attack or conquer in BORK. I usually am going lethal tempo in BORK. And when I'm going lethal tempo, I'm usually going BORK because it's not really great with anything else. It doesn't scale very well with anything else, but it scales very well with BORK. You can definitely go, you can mix and match though. You can definitely go lethal tempo, go Divine Sunder, Ravenous or something like that, or jak'sho. Absolutely viable. And there's a chance that I need to test that out a little bit more. But from how it's felt for me so far, I definitely prefer just going lethal tempo if I'm interested in building BORK in the game that I'm playing. So because we have prio now, we go ahead and just start on this dragon. 2, 2, and 3. Yeah, like I said, another kind of a slow start. We do have some kills this game, and we're actually in a decent position. But we're trying to really utilize our BORK Powerspike right now. That said, because we are behind, we kind of need everything that we can to pick up. If we're ahead, we can just fight whenever. But because we're behind, the odds are we're not going to be able to win any even fights unless we have our ultimate. So that's what I'm banking on. Of course, I see Samir try to flank this Jhin, so I'm protecting the Jhin. I'm trying to, again, counter enemy aggression. That's something that Warwick's really good at, is counter ganking, counter diving, things like that. He can really come in and clean up. Warwick is a very strong cleanup champion, and he's also really good at cock blocking. Really good at cock blocking, so that's one of the reasons why he's really strong at counter ganking, counter jungling. Plus, his actual ganking ability, as I mentioned before, is not super strong without his ultimate, so it all kind of just adds up. Ultimate's coming up here, so I'm definitely looking to fight. I think I hard forced this or something like that. Yeah, I decided, I'm strong. Like, I'm really strong. I got my BORK, I got Ghost, I got ultimates, and Ziggs is going to be able to do some damage. So I just run in like a maniac, and it works. That's a perfect example. Playing around your power spikes. Even though we're behind in gold this game, and I'm not really strong. I think Wukong's pretty fed this game, I believe. At least he was in the early game. I just hit a strong power spike, so relatively speaking, I'm stronger than Wukong, even though he has more gold. If I tried to fight him sooner, before my BORK power spike, I would just get flat. And I would end up losing my lead and just fall behind further. And if I didn't take advantage of my power spike, then I end up giving him time to hit his power spike. So it all kind of adds up once again, like I said. So right here, I get really lucky with Diana just hard forcing this greed play. Get a big shutdown, really needed. Warwick with BORK nowadays scales really well with the jak'sho. So like just having gold, especially against enemy team comp, they don't have any real ways of dealing with it, honestly, in this game. No one on their team is that annoying. You might think someone like Fiora is really bad for, or really hard for Warwick to deal with, but honestly, not really. Unless Fiora is really fed. Especially if we're going BORK and lethal tempo, I definitely am able to just sit there and just shred her while she's trying to dance around me. Because, yeah, her DPS is not that strong. She has like pretty good, like, I want to say burst. She's kind of weird. She's like kind of like halfway through like burst. She kind of like ramps up into bursting you, I guess. This is how Fiora is. But because of your lifestealer damage reduction and the threat of your damage with the setup, she's just not going to be able to 1v1 you. They're playing against a lot of, like I'm playing against a lot of stat check champions that actually can't out stat check Warwick. It is really just kind of what it comes down to. So these are good comps to play first. I see that Ziggs is overextended like crazy down bot lane, and this side, you know, again, I'm still strong. I probably should have recalled at some point by now, but all we need is BORK at the end of the day. Really, like honestly, like all we need is BORK on Warwick. The damage that you get on this is ridiculous. I'm still kind of squishy, but I'm aware of what damage they can deal with me. I'm aware of the damage threat. So as long as I'm paying attention and I'm not overextending, over pushing, then like I already have my damage item. I already have all my kill potential then. Because I'm getting jak'sho next. jak'sho is going to give me that tankiness, but I already have all my damage that I need. So if I think that I can, you know, kill enemies, I'm going to go ahead and just kill enemies right now. So I think we just go ahead and recall for jak'sho here. Yep. This is something I do a lot actually though, is I do sit on a lot of gold. I think a lot of it is just because Warwick does tend to perform pretty poorly with item components in general, but it also does depend on the item. I mean, jak'sho, if I manage to recall on like Aegis of Legion and like Kindle Gem, definitely strong item components that are worth recalling on, so I probably should have done it sooner. But I definitely am like, I guess like the benefit of not recalling sooner is that I end up getting a little bit more resources. I end up getting more gold because I'm able to farm more efficiently, more quickly. Diana right here gets really caught out. I try to Q follow, barely managed to fail it. But luckily, obviously, Jhin is here to counter. And this is coming just in time for a dragon fight. Diana really hard into that. So I'm focusing on the Scuttle Crab right here because we have Prio. I really like getting Scuttle Crab before objective. I think it's just always worth to just grab, even if it's like a free objective, just because you have the, not only does it give you gold XP, which is nice, but it gives you the movement speed zone, which can actually help you a lot if a fight does happen to break out, or if you're looking for like some sort of counter response to the enemy's contesting. So that's definitely one of the reasons why I think that just securing the Scuttle Crab before committing to the objective is good in a lot of situations. Not every situation, but a lot of situations. Get a nice Q behind Lux there in order to avoid her snare. Then we just run straight at Samira. Warwick is great into Samira. Just because I can, she's a bursty champion. She's a bursty ADC who also likes to go in on top of you. And oh yeah, this is just tragic. This is just bullying this Fiora right here. Walked up, managed to get the smite steal off. We go ahead and continue doing some counter jungling. And I'm really just taking over this game. You know, I was 2-2-2, I think at one point. Not really doing too much while our team was behind like 7 to like 14. But we've just been patient. Again, we're not trying too hard to do anything like too stupid. We did do something stupid once. With that mid play versus the Diana, not good. But we learned, and one mistake turned out to be not a huge deal. We managed to get the win, and we managed to get the LP. So GG. Let me know what you guys think of this game, of just anything Warwick related in the comments. God bless you and have a fantastic night, day, evening, wherever, whatever.